Thousands of Colorado's COVID-19 cases are linked to outbreaks across the state. Outbreaks have been reported everywhere, from nursing homes to restaurants to grocery stores. 9 News reporter Mark Salinger dives into the data and looks where the most cases are coming from now.
The deadliest and largest COVID-19 outbreaks in Colorado continue to be centered around jails, long-term care facilities, and food processing plants. But outbreaks at other locations that the average person might go to have infected hundreds. We start with restaurants. There are a total of 24 outbreaks across Colorado. That's up 4 from last week. 17 of those are active, meaning new cases have been reported within the last 28 days. Several revolve around fast food locations. At least 95 employees at restaurants have confirmed COVID-19 cases. The State Department of Health data shows only 3 people who ate at a restaurant are confirmed to have gotten COVID-19. Now onto grocery stores. There are 6 active outbreaks across the state. That's 1 less than last week. At least 148 employees have tested positive for the virus, with another 44 listed as probable. 4 employees have died. There are also small outbreaks centered around childcare facilities and camps. At least 12 staff members have tested positive for COVID-19 at the Eagle Lake overnight camp in El Paso County. Another 12 have probable cases. At the Urban Peak Youth Shelter, up to 12 residents have contracted the virus. The largest outbreak in the state continues to be at the Sterling Correctional Facility, where 564 inmates have tested positive. The Colorado Department of Corrections says 561 of those have now recovered, while 3 have died. In Denver, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
At least 45% of all COVID-19 deaths in the state are linked to long-term care facilities and nursing homes. In the past few weeks, the growth of new cases as well as deaths have slowed inside these facilities.